For those of you who don't know me and my counterpart here, Jill, my name is Jim Pignato. Joe Roethke, we are co-event directors of Swim Across America. This is our 14th year as we embark on this event for Nantucket. Over a couple of years ago, we decided to do an event like this to kind of help spread the word and our message about why we swim. The swim is really the vehicle for something much greater, which Jill is going to do a very great job this evening elaborating on all the key points of really what is important for this event. So without further ado, thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it over to Jill.
I'm also looking in the crowd. Like Jim said, we've done a couple of these before, and Susan Smith, Heidi and Keith Mitchell, Amanda and Blair Jacobson, they've hosted in the past. So enjoy yourself tonight. Thank you guys for keeping this tradition going. And earlier in the year, Jim and I said, okay, this year our goal is simple. We're not going to do a ton of things as long as it's easy. And we met with Andrea and Sue and Deb Dolan from Pascon in January. And Andrea said, I can help do whatever. I'll even host the party. We're like, okay, I guess we're doing the party, which is amazing, and what a beautiful space. So thank you.
Thank you.
So for those that have been at our swim, or hopefully if you've never been to our swim, now you'll be at our swim, we have a Why I Swim. And I've never done the Why I Swim, but I'm going to do it today. I swim because I can. I grew up in a family of swimmers. My parents swam. My brother swam. I met my husband, Steve, swimming in college. My kids swam. Justin and Tyler, they're here. We were a family of swimmers. We even had a bumper sticker on our station wagon that said, we are a swimming family, and we still are. I didn't know anything about Swim Across America, except I'd get these emails from Jenny Paradise, who I think's here, who did the Boston swim, and I'm like, okay, I'll donate to Jenny, it's swimming or whatever. I don't even know what this organization is all about. But little did I know the impact that Swim Across America would have on me and my family. That all changed in late 2011 when my husband Steve was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. It was hard. Cancer's hard. We all know cancer's hard. Our young men were little boys at the time, and really hard raising a family. I mean, we were going to Dana-Farber for 5 years back and forth with surgeries, consults, scans, boats canceling, planes that one time I said to Steve, if the cancer doesn't kill us, the plane is, with a crazy landing. But we did it, and luckily my in-laws live here, and it was easy with family, but they weren't always here. So we had to rely on friends that became family. Mark and Venka and Susan and Sam and Jen, like you guys all helped. As a community, we all became family, even though we weren't blood related. So our family was growing. We took advantage of services at Pascon. I knew Charlene Thurston through my job, but I didn't know her as the Pascon person. She helped us talk to our kids what it's like to have cancer. But other than that, there were no services here that we could use. So we were always going off island. And then one day, Steve and I are driving back from Boston, and we got a call. Like fate was calling. We learned that Swim Across America was coming to Nantucket that summer to do a 25-year anniversary swim to celebrate their 25th anniversary of their inaugural swim from Nantucket to the Cape. And so our worlds collided. We figured we swim, we have cancer, let's give it a try. A much younger and smaller team, Roethke, showed up at the swim. We raised $5,000, and Steve was the Why I Swim speaker. At the event, we felt surrounded by a community that was passionate about doing good things for others through swimming, and instantly we were hooked. After the swim, Jim and I got together and said, this was amazing, let's do this. And we approached the Swim Across America team and said, we want to make this an annual event. And they're like, this was going to be one and done. So they said, you have to raise $100,000. Well, we were kind of terrified. And we're like, you know what, we can do this. So we talked to Dr. Margot Hartman, the president of the hospital at the time. She literally had just signed the contract with Mass General. to bring oncologists here on island and wasn't exactly sure how we were going to pay for it. So we figured, okay, we'll give it a try. So then oncologists started coming from Boston, and we did our swim with Nantucket Cottage Hospital and Pascon as our beneficiaries. Fast forward 14 years, well, as of now, we've raised $7 million since 2007. And we're the third highest swim across America in the country. Over the years, we've seen meaningful changes as a direct result of our swim. I was just speaking with Gretchen Hall, one of our amazing nurses, who said back in the day, there was only 2 of them. Now, because of all this funding that we've done, we have a full-time nurse practitioner with the amazing Ugna, who unfortunately is not here tonight, and a team of 6 angels, we like to call them. Are other nurses here, or just Gretchen? All right, Gretchen's representing the team, but they'll all be there. And we have the doctors that come from Mass General to Nantucket, so people don't have to travel. And they receive their treatments at our beautiful infusion center, the Swim Across America Infusion Center, a gift of Stephanie and Erwin Greenberg. Thank you, Stephanie. World-class cancer care right here on Nantucket. This was not the case in 2011. A couple years ago, we added a research component through Mass General, and Dr. Brian Choi is knocking it out of the park with his brain tumor research. More, stay tuned on that. Breakthroughs like these change the game of cancer and give us all hope. This past March, Jim and I were in Austin, Texas, with this Swim Across America Leadership Summit. We brainstormed with a lot of other event directors and board members at Swim Across America, and we also met Dr. Luis Diaz, who is instrumental in developing Keytruda at a Swim Across America lab at Johns Hopkins. Interestingly enough, Steve was offered Keytruda as a clinical trial in 2011, but it really wasn't a right fit. But now it's one of 4 FDA-approved cancer drugs through Swim Across America labs across the country. Pretty amazing stuff. I know some people here are on 2 of those drugs. Pretty amazing. Several days after coming home from Austin, my dad was diagnosed with bile duct cancer. My head was spinning. I remembered the bumper sticker, "We are a swimming family." Now, okay, we're also a cancer-fighting family. We can do this. I immediately flew down to Maryland to help with my dad's diagnosis and leaned into my Swim Across America family, both locally and nationally. The first text I sent was to Ugna. I just said, "When you have a chance, can you call me?" And I gave her like a little download. I'm like, I just want to make sure this all sounds right. Ugna literally called me within 30 seconds. And this was in the middle of her workday. She just made the time for me, and she's been a wonderful resource to me ever since. So my dad was put on a 3-month regimen of chemo and Keytruda. And I remember I was sitting in the waiting room, and I texted Jim, and I told him what was going on. And I said, "My dad's going to be on Keytruda." And he texted me back and said, "I'm so glad we could help." And that's when I realized, like, we all have each other's back. We are a swimming family. We're a cancer-fighting family. We're all together as one. And I realized that we run deep. I thought of some of our father figures that have been our wise swim speakers. Jeff Snyder, who's here, Duncan, who unfortunately couldn't be here, who fought their own battles. But they were giving me hope. I was looking at them, thinking of them, knowing that my dad's gonna be okay, because I look at Jeff and I look at Duncan, I look at Ryan, and just how much hope there is. I also think of Natalie, who, all her courage, that she was helping her dad through his cancer journey, and how strong she was for him, which gave me strength. Cancer's hard, but there is hope. And I see a lot of my dad's parallels with my dad's cancer journey and our situation here on island. Thankfully, he's able to go to a local cancer center 5 minutes from his house. He doesn't have to travel. Like our Swim Across America Infusion Center, it's on the top floor overlooking conservation land. He's getting to know his doctors or his nurses on a personal basis. They all know each other's names, and he has his own angels caring for him, just like our nurse angels care for our patients here. But he also has specialists at one of the best cancer hospitals in the country, the Sidney Kimmel Cancer Institute at Johns Hopkins, another one of our Swim Across America partners. So similar to our patients here get help at Mass General. Another one of our Y Swim speakers, Caitlin Marcoux, used to say, having cancer is hard, but there's no better place than to have cancer as there is on Nantucket. And I understand that firsthand, seeing what my dad's going through. So to finish where I started, why I swim. I swim because I can, and I swim because my dad actually taught me how to swim. He was my coach for some years, and he's actually still swimming at the age of 84, when he can. That was the first question I asked Edna, can he swim with his port? And she said, absolutely. And without him, I might not have swum. I may not have met Steve. I may not have learned about Swim Across America. So to honor him and some other special Swim Across America family members near and dear to my heart who've had a recent cancer diagnosis, I'm upping my game this year. I'm gonna still work with Jim on event director, but the next day I'm gonna swim 4 miles. I've never swum 4 miles, but I need to do it because we need to raise as much money as we can to make ways to fight cancer. Swimming's the easy part, cancer's the hard part, and Duncan's not here, but every stroke I'm gonna be saying strokes for hope in honor of all of you here.
All right, thank you, Jill. I do want to point out, her dad doesn't just swim. I'm pretty sure he's an age group masters record holder in some events, so he is quite an accomplished swimmer at that. So to just give you a little brief overview of kind of Swim Across America, we did bury the lead a little bit. This is an event that's happening in a couple weeks, on July 25th. We go down to Jetties Beach. We have a number of different swims, from a kid splash for 50 yards to a quarter mile, half mile, 1 mile. It's really accessible for all. And I promise some of our hardcore swimmers, we are at a higher tide and there will be water this year. I promise. As long as Mother Nature gives us a day like today. And then the next day on Sunday, we were doing a 2x2 relay and then a 4 mile swim. And we have a lot of our 2x2 relay swimmers and our 4 mile swimmers here with us this evening. So if you're new to this family, how do you get involved? As Jill mentioned, today we've raised $7 million for 3 really important beneficiaries. Our Nantucket Cottage Hospital oncology team, Pascon, and all the great work they do, not just for the patients, but for the families as well, at no charge. And then Jill mentioned some research with Mass General Brigham's Institute, Cancer Institute. Dr. Choi, Google him, he's doing amazing things with seed money from Swim Across America, from us, from the Boston Swim. We are part of a much larger family doing this. We are one of 27 now swims throughout the country. Jill mentioned we're top 3, I think we're top 2. Larchmont is number 1, we're number 2. Nassau is kind of trying to take back that number 2 spot from us. So that's where we need your guys' help, right? We don't want Nassau to come up and take over. We want to continue this trajectory. We had a lofty goal last year of $1 million, and we went into last year's swim at $850,000. Through the generosity of everybody under the tent that morning, we got to $930,000. We presented that check or that number, and then lo and behold, we had an anonymous donation of $70,000 right there that morning to push us to that $1 million mark. It was magical, and we were in ankle-deep water all morning. We didn't even swim, and we raised $1 million. So how do you get involved? I would implore you, if you haven't been involved with Swim Across America, swimacrossamerica.org/Nantucket, click that donate button and type in Roethke and find Jill. Right? Help Jill. She is really going out of her comfort zone a little bit. She's a very accomplished swimmer, but she hasn't done 4 miles before. So if you could financially help support Jill achieve this goal for her dad, that would be very, very much gratitude to you all. With that being said, thank you all for showing up this evening. Thanks again to Andrea and Ted for hosting us in this lovely, lovely backyard. Thank you for their neighbor's high roof to give us some nice shade from that scorching sun. Please enjoy yourself for the rest of the evening. Thank you so much, guys.